Can you guys hear me? It said my mic was muted. Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. As you saw the thumbnail, Kambosos. He's on that ish. He's on it. Try to give him the benefit of the doubt. But I don't know. It's not looking like he needed it. Anywho, or he didn't deserve it. But let's turn to welcome back. I'm getting these phone lines set up. They're up and running. Welcome back. Y'all saw what I was talking about. The George Kambosos. We on that ish. First, we're gonna do a water check. If you guys can't hear me, let me know. Got the mic turned up. I got music playing in the background. Let me know. Help me give myself cadence. That's why I play it. Y'all know the beginning of the show, we always start with the water check. And that's my information on water. So far, I've drank 10 bottles of 8-ounce water. And hey, here at Boxing Fans Talk TV, we shoot for 100 ounces. So I just, instead of just saying my same old same, I'm just going to show those pictures for a while. I'll switch it up later too. But it's important to drink your water. We advocate that here at Boxing Fans Talk TV. I want to send a shout out and welcome to the building, Los Federale. He said, "Hey T, what's up? How you doing, King? Thanks for joining. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button when you step into the square circle. Like, share, and subscribe when you come into the square circle. So don't be reckless eyeballing out there. I see y'all coming in. Y'all only just mosey on over to the like button. Come on, help me get my algorithms up. Help a sister out. Demetrius Bright is in the building. He says, "Salute Queen T and fam. You at 74 ounces, King? I hear you. I hear you. Hey, Los, do you drink water a lot? How much water you drink today?" We always start the show off like that. How much water we drink. Demetrius, you own it. How you doing so far, Demetrius? What's good with you? And I think I said this on the other show that I was fiddle-daddling around and I found a recipe that helps with arthritis. And y'all notice I don't say shit like cure, but it helps. It makes it dormant. And who's the greatest test dummy? I do it to myself. And it works. It works. I have rheumatoid arthritis, y'all. So I try these recipes on myself before I even come back and say that, hey, it's good. And I found a good one that really works. If it work on me, hell, it'll work on anybody. So that's how I see it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe when you come into the square circle. Like, share, and subscribe when you come into the square circle. So today we're gonna delve deep into this George Kambosos thing. I mean, dude is acting like we all suspected he would. Can't say a lot of us didn't give him the benefit of the doubt. Really can't say that I did, because I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Demetrius said, "Hanging tough as well as getting over the iiiissssshhhh hate." Demetrius, you gotta be like, see, even with the Bud hate, I had to let it go. I had to just be like, I let it go, but I don't forget. So like when I talk about it, I don't talk in anger. I'm not angry. I might not have a like, or I might have, like, I'm gonna say more so like a dislike of things, and I'll speak on it. But I don't have to be angry about it. I know ESJ is your boy. Bud is my guy. I hated hearing the disrespect and the way that people talk to him. But I had to get to a point where I'm not even going to take it personally, because guess what? They don't know me. I met Bud twice, though. But meeting him and taking a picture with him is not knowing him. That don't mean that I know him. I had a small glimpse into what type of man I was standing next to taking a picture. But that's about it. And I met him in 2015, and I met him again last year. He's a decent man. But the vitriol for him was almost unbearable. And I think that's what got us into this rivalry that we find ourselves in, Demetrius. So I feel you. Trying to get over the ESJ hate. But I would say we have to get to a point where we don't take it personal. Because unless we know them, unless they family members, which most of the time that won't be the case. Well, I mean, I don't know, Demetrius, you in Texas. Is that your family member? It may be, but it's just people get real emotional and divested into sports with their emotion and time. And so what you hear a lot, and what I had to tell myself is I hear a lot of passion. I have passion for the person that I like in any sport event just as much as anybody else have passion for their favorite sporting person. And so I just had to not take it personal. If Bud can comport himself to a point where he doesn't take it personal and say anything, y'all 1 second. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. Yogi is in the building. What's up, Queen? Hello, Miss T. Stopping by to show some love and support. I appreciate you, Queen. Demetra said, TMI, Queen T. Too much information? TMI, like what, on the recipe or on how we feel about our sports people? Yeah, let me know. But no, I do feel that's kind of what I had to do to kind of get over it, because shit, it was gruesome. I feel you. It was gruesome out here in these boxing streets. I was like, oh, family member. I feel you, King. I feel you. How did I know that? We are moving on. So George Kambosos, right? George Kambosos is saying things like the zone is not back in Devin Haney. I'm cataloging some of the things I'm shooting from the hip of some of the things we heard him say, like sell your jury, which was kind of disrespectful. I can't give him a pass because that's a grown ass man in his 30s. Now, things that Devin, T.O., even Ryan Garcia say, sometimes you have to take a step back and say, they little boys. They're still little boys. I know they grown men in their own right, but they still little boys. At least from where I'm sitting, It's not a put down. We were all little boys and little girls from somebody's perspective when we were their age. So at my age, that's what they are. And that means that they're going to do little boy and little girl shit. But when you're 31 or close to 30, I'm 29, you don't get that pass. And that's where I'm at with George Kambosos. We hoped and prayed that he wouldn't play games, but it was all in vain. That's how I'm looking at it right now. It was all in vain. Because look at the stuff that he said. And it just sounds like excuses, and excuses. As I always say, if you're in this boxing game and you're not trying to win a championship, you're not trying to unify your belts, you're not trying to become undisputed, which is like the Super Bowl for boxing, then what you here for? Why should I, as a boxing fan, follow you and divest my money or invest my money into you? Why should I? Give me a reason. And when you start playing these tomfoolery games, I have a problem with that. Now, George Kambosos refers to himself sometimes on the sneak tip, like as if people ain't catching him, as the undisputed champion. But he does that because people with authority and power do it to him. Do he get a pass? No, you're a grown man. You know better. TL, I wasn't so mad at him. You know how, like, when your kids are young, you have to repeat. And I remember my kids getting like 10 years old, and I'm like, you would think that they know better. I done said this shit for 10 years. How long do it take to get it? You come in the house, wash your hands, or to go to bed, brush your teeth. But you know, just human nature, you got to repeat yourself. You have to be repetitive before stuff becomes second nature. So when T.O. was getting on his I'm undisputed tip, I was like, you know, all it takes is for the media, responsible people, logical people to say, hey kid, you're not undisputed. There's a dispute. There's somebody else with a championship belt that precludes you from being undisputed. Sure, he gonna go on and say he is, but you just have to keep reminding him till he get it. And once you get a certain age, I don't know what that certain age, but definitely over 25, then you be like, yo, dog, you don't want to get it. Your time for getting a reprieve or a pass on shit, that time has elapsed. That shelf life is done. But with George Kambosos, it was done before it started. But when, again, humans are fickle. So if you read in articles that you're undisputed, or this is the fancy way that they tell him, he has all 4 belts. Well, we know if you got all 4 belts, you're undisputed. But that's their way of saying it without having the pushback from others. Oh, he has all 4 belts, and he let it get to his head. So George Kambosos, I can't give you no pass. This is getting ridiculous. And we have to take you for what you said in the beginning. You said that, and this is before the T.O. fight, if I win, and I know I'm going to win, I'm paraphrasing, putting my stank on it, but when I win, I'm not going to go through all this rigmarole. You next. You on deck. I'm fighting you. That's who I want next. Which sound like music to Haney's ears. I want to know who the best. I take all smoke. I done went around the world and I. And I'm still undefeated. When he was climbing, when Haney's fight was over and George was at the fight, remember he stuck around to see who was going to be on the docket for him next? He actually stuck around for Haney fight, and he went to Tank's fight. You can see George standing with the commentators, excuse me, and you can see Haney coming out the ring behind him. And he was acting like a fat ass baby in the candy store, like he discovered something. He was so blissed because he could see by his own opinion, I was so many hoes that I could take advantage of if I fight Devin Haney. Because they asked him a question kind of like that. Do you see any ways, do you see any discrepancies, in other words? And he was like, so many. And he was like, yeah. And he gave America the feeling like, okay, it's on and like popcorn. I'm not going to play no games. He did his American tour and he took his ass back to Australia. Only to let shit seep in and get in his head. Asking for the contract. Are you going to make an offer? You pricing yourself out. Dude, you act like you got years on the books of being that dude. You don't. In boxing streets, it's very possible that you could be a one-hit wonder. It's very possible right now. Now, everybody was falling back and respecting your space and trying to give you time to work it out. But we see where this is going. I will be pleasantly surprised if Devin Haney gets that fight with George Kambosos. I thought about stuff like this. To the Haney family, the jig is up. The secret is out. You did what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to do it. But I think sometimes it hurts you in the long run. You traveled around the country and people got to know who Devin Haney was by sparring him. And they know they don't want no parts of it. Gotta go, sis. Have a great night. Thank you for stopping in, Queen. Hit them books. Yeah. So I be wondering, I stay here and wonder, is there room in boxing for the off-stage boxers? And then there's the on-stage boxers, meaning you got your professional boxers, because they have to have sparring, and it has to be realistic. But it's getting so bad now, it's probably hard to get sparring partners. Because now sometimes sparring partners become like bragging rights to whoever had the advantage that time. Sparring was supposed to be simple, where you just, worked out some kinks. Maybe you was in there with somebody and their job was to evade you, and your job was to get at them. But sometimes you can have sparring where they be like, I only want you to work on the jab. Where your sparring partner can throw both hands at you and move and everything, but you can only work on your jab. Sometimes you're working on different shots or a combination. Sometimes you, as the fighter that has a fight coming up, will be working on how do you evade, how do you move, how do you do your lateral movements, parry shots, where you're not allowed for that particular session to throw hands. That's what sparring's supposed to do. Hone in your skills, work out the kinks in real time, what you're trying to effect in the actual match. That's what it's supposed to be. But now you got sparring sessions being leaked. I like to, look, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. T ain't gonna tell you no lie. You put up a sparring session on video and post it to YouTube, I'm going to watch. I'm gonna watch it. It's almost like we could talk about World Star and all the fights that they be showing, of black people in the community acting buffoonerish, but we sit there and watch it, don't we? Okay. So now it's like you got to be careful. I understand why there was no cameras or nothing allowed when Mayweather had the doghouse. Because people leak them. Now, most of his career, majority of his career, he had the better of the opponent he had in sparring. And for years, he never leaked that shit. It's a thing now to leak. Just like it's a thing to brag about what somebody did in the amateur over the pros, when it should be looked upon in two different entities, two separate things. Should be. But that's why I say with the Haneys, everybody know what your son can do. Bill, Devin, everybody know what you can do, and it's unavoidable. I really don't have an answer, because I really think because he was sparring, and I could be wrong, that the word got out on him, and because I just never seen for somebody to be so young and doesn't get opportunities like he should. Now people be avoiding him. This is the weirdest shit. Devin Haney is not a big knockout puncher. He doesn't KO people. But boy can fight. And they be avoiding his ass like the plague. He can't never be great because he ain't gonna never get that opportunity. If George fights Lomachenko, Devin will never see that opportunity. If George fights Ryan Garcia, Devin will never see that opportunity. Even if T.O. rematched him, which he won't, he will never get that opportunity. And eventually, time waits for no one. So eventually, Devin will have to move up to a higher weight class. And we would never be able to say this dude was the truth. You know, out of sight, out of mind. Devin and them, it's almost like they trying to humble his ass. Why he need humbling, I don't know. But they trying to humble him. Like, you know, if he's built himself up this far, they want him to dummy down. For what? Why should he? But, and y'all know I hate to talk about business. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know the answer for that. Because I can understand if Devin said, I'm not taking less. I'm not dummying down. I'm not going to devalue myself when it took this hard to earn this value that I do have. Why should I? And others could say, you going to let your ego and pride get in the way of you becoming great. They both winnable arguments. I just couldn't tell you where to go with that. Because that's a grown man now. And he has to make his grown man decision. But in hindsight, when he look back on it years from now, you know, boxers are in a unique position. Like most women have to be all their life, no matter what a woman does, whether she's a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor, a policeman, an athlete. Doesn't matter what genre she chooses to work in, you know, or spend a lot of her leisure time in. A woman knows, just in life in general, there's a shelf life. We, above all, know and understand the importance of stuff being a shelf life. We understand time, is what I'm basically saying. I think better than men. Women want to have children, preferably before they 35. Because after that, everything becomes a risk. That's a short window. That's 15 years. Men don't have that. They can be 90 years old and make babies. So that sense of urgency won't be on it. If a woman wants a career, she has to strike while the metal is hot. She has to do it in a timely manner. Because she can't necessarily be queen of the damn, you know, and be a mother and, you know, everything that she says she wants, she has to. Time is ticking. Now, in a boxer's life, this is why I say they're similar. Men know at 16, if they still doing boxing, that time is of the essence, that they have a short shelf life. Whatever they do, they got to do it and do it on a fast pace. So if you're a youngster and you got youth on your side, and you come into boxing, you want the accolades and achievements of Floyd Mayweather, then you got to be Pretty Boy. Pretty Boy was running in the middle of the night after the club, while everybody else was sleeping. Pretty Boy was working out 2 and 3 times a day while everybody else was sleeping. He used the one leverage, and that was his father and his uncle being in boxing or being somebody in boxing. And that got him to the Olympics. And once he had that Olympics pedigree on his side, not to mention all his accolades he got as an amateur, he got his shit from the mud. He didn't make excuses. He kept going. He kept going. If you look at Floyd's career, the first couple of years, he fought often. And when I say often, there was times when Floyd fought twice in 1 month. One time it seemed like within a 4-week period, he fought 3 times. Floyd did this in the first couple of years of his career. And he didn't have to. Because when you come out the Olympics and you're a name, they pay you pretty good compared to anybody else your age starting out. So he had enough. He was getting paid enough where he could have paid his apartment bill, rent for the whole year, a year at a time. Even if he was getting paid $50,000 or $70,000 a year, that's more than what most people make in a year, who raising whole families. But if he's getting paid that much, and let's say he fought twice in a month, that's $100,000. If he was getting paid $50,000, let's say, and he was getting paid more than that. If he did that twice in 1 month, and then the next month he fought, that's $150,000. Then the next month, $200,000. And he did this for a couple of years. That's why Floyd said he was a millionaire before he knew it, at a very young age. Plus, he had mounted up a number of fights where he had to be recognized. It do seem like, within the first year or two of his pro career, he had a title fight. He also fought every month. When I think about Devin Haney, that's something you're not doing. I do take in consideration that nobody wants to fight you. That's not your fault. If you're that good and people are scared to fight you, that's not your fault. But it don't negate the fact that you ain't fighting nobody. If ever there was a time that you needed to fight some unnotable people while you young, was the time to do it. Because eventually they couldn't ignore you. Kind of like Canelo. We don't know the first, 40 people he fought. Or 39 people he fought. We don't even know them. They could have been taxi cab drivers, for all we know. We don't have a clue, and we'll never have a clue, because they're not registering on a national level as somebody notable. But by the time he got to Floyd Mayweather, look how many fights he had. He had to be recognized. You know what I'm saying? And, back in August, I was saying, why don't Devin fight Isaac Cruz right now until George Kambosos pick a partner? I don't know what Devin can do. I don't know if he can sit out this long. I don't know. Maybe his strategy is to make him wait. But, Devin, I would imagine that the Haneys are looking to see what time frame is going to put George in a compromising position where he has to pick a dance partner, but because of mandatories. Wonder when that's going to happen. And if that's the case, then that's how long I would think that Devin Haney has to reasonably wait for him. Because once George picked a dance partner, them belts are gone. They're gone. Now, I don't know. I can't predict what Ryan Garcia is. I don't even like predicting him for anything, because the dude don't take boxing serious. And, he's fine with being a local celebrity. As long as he can lay pipe and get the girls he wants, he cool with that. Saying he's a boxer enables him to beat his chest and feel like the man. And that's all he needed it to do. And that's how he do with it. But yeah, that's a lot to take in. I mean, I'm seeing the buffoonery going on. Am I a big Devin Haney fan? No. But I like him. And I will tell you this. I have not seen him face adversity. And that's not me talking down on Devin. That's telling what I know or what I think. He hasn't faced adversity. That's why I wanted him to fight Isaac Cruz, not to lose, but I wanted to see him have to dig deep and face adversity, and he hasn't. Maybe because he was better than his opponents, but he don't fight enough for you to even come to that conclusion. Like when they say, Bud, who have you fought? I can look at Bud and be like, he fought a lot of notable people. But if you feel that his opponents won't shit, ain't nothing I can say about it. But I tell you this, he makes all of them look silly. So one could draw a conclusion that Bud is that great of a fighter. And we wish that we could draw this conclusion with Devin, but we can't, because he don't have enough fights. Terrell Gosberry is in the building. What's popping, King? He said Kambosos might beat Garcia. He may. Garcia has pop. Come on, Ryan. He does have pop on his hands. And he is fast, and those are notable traits to have as a boxer. But he do a lot of bad things wrong. He's flat-footed to me. He stands straight up. He don't have the best stance in my opinion, and he has his chin up. When Clarissa says she can knock out some dudes, that's a dude I can see her knocking out, because the way he stand with his chin in the air. That queen. But I don't know what y'all think. That's the question. Do y'all think it's all on Devin? Is there something more that he can do? Should he move on? Should he change up his tactics? I can't tell a man how to run his business per se. But I can say in hindsight, when you look back, Devin, would it have been worth it? That's what you got to ask yourself. If they wanted to pay you $1, which, y'all know I don't like the money talk, but I'm using it as an example. If they wanted to pay you $1 or make the fight free, would you take it knowing that you had an opportunity to become undisputed, something that's rarely done? This is why I say they don't make us like they used to. Did you think of any notable sport athlete that was black? We in Black History Month. Just to get the opportunity, the things they had to put up with. Jack Johnson had to go 22, 30 rounds because they just wouldn't they couldn't allow him to win, even though he won the fight hands down. They was taping it for prosperity, but then they changed their mind and stopped the tape. We'll never know how that thing ended. We can only go by writers and what they wrote, but we visually won't see how that ended because it was too much for white folks at that time to bear, to see him demolish their fighter. Now, in so many ways, I can say they don't make them like they used to. Even for the white guys, he went 22 rounds also. He went 30 rounds or whatever also. Who the fuck can do that today? None of us can. I don't even think we can go 30 rounds on a game. But Jack Johnson, you see what he had to go through just to be the king? And he did it. But you know what the history books say? He was the king. Terrell Gosberry said, I don't think he should wait too much longer. Bozo is a duck. I'm seeing that too. We go up the line. Joe Louis. We couldn't gloat. I was talking about that yesterday. As a female playing against males in sports and winning, I will give them the... If I won, I couldn't gloat. I didn't want to fight him. He probably could beat me. I didn't want it to lead to violence, but hell, I'm not going to dummy down what I can do. But look at Joe Louis. He had to win and be... Whereas if his white opponent beat him, yeah, I'm the shit. I'm the man. Oh, that nigga. Oh, you can do all that. You can gloat. You could You could be boisterous and everything. Joe Louis knew he better not do it. Why? Because he would be precluded from having the opportunity. Macadocious Mac of the South is in the building. What's poppin', King? Salute to the lovely and beautiful Madame Queen Miss T. Salute to you too, King. Macadocious, did you just have a birthday? If you did, happy birthday, King. But Joe Louis couldn't show no gratitude. He couldn't show him being elated and happy about his accomplishments. Surely he put in work. He had to be stoic in his response, which is unfair to ask somebody to do when winning something that you put a lot of work into draws an emotion. Happy, sad, whatever. Sad if you lose, happy if you win. But he had to play ball. The problem with us today, a lot of times things is a bridge too far for us. And I'm just saying, I agree with that on a lot of levels. But sometimes this goes to knowing when to hold them and fold them. Because Joe Louis is an iconic hero in boxing. He was the man. By playing the stoic game, it was unfair, but he did it. Ray Robinson, whatever he had to do. Go all the way up the list of whatever fighters had to do. But once they got their opportunity and they showed out, they the man. Can't take it from him. Think about Money May when he faced, I think he was Money May when he faced Oscar De La Hoya. He tell you he was behind the gun on everything. Canelo versus Bivol, then Triple G, no more Charlo. Yeah, I don't think they was ever gonna fight anyway. Y'all saw me. I never even talked about it that much. I think I mentioned it once, something, because I never thought it was gonna happen in the first place. And I don't too much care for Canelo. I don't hate him, but he's bad for boxing. I can't praise this motherfucker. Hell to the now. In no way, shape, or form can he get any praise from me. On any level. I can't. You can be the nicest motherfucker. I could trip, fall, and about to bust my head and you catch me. I could be courteous to say thank you. I'll still not praise you. Because you cheat. And you have a disregard for people's life. So fuck no, I can't get behind no Canelo. Fuck him. Because he's saying fuck his opponents. That's what he's saying. And I can't. Not with him. But he's going to do everything fair and unfair to get his moment. What you can never say about Canelo, you can't take away his accolades. Ricky Williams is in the building. What's poppin', King? He said, smash that like button. Of course. Smash the like button when you come into the square circle. Smash the like button when you come into this square circle. Don't be sitting on the peripheral, reckless eyeballing. Bring your ass up in here, hit the like button, and then go back to your peripheral if that's what you want. I do invite you to engage in the convo. He said Canelo do anything for the clout. Exactamundo. Demetrius said, I'm trying to hang tough with you, Queen T, because I came to from the wellness show, Finding the Health in You. I only watch at most 3 channels. I won't support confusion. What you mean, Demetrius? I'm confused a little bit. Confusion. Trying to hang. Like of this channels to shows loyalty to their subscribers. I applaud you for that. like of this channel is to show loyalty to their subscribers. I applaud you. Yeah, everybody's welcome, even if they don't think the same as me. I respect people. If you respect me, I respect you. That's the only requirement. I understand as a person, an individual, we all gonna think differently. Yep, my only requirement is I show you respect, you show me respect. Everything is in all good fun. I do not feel good degrading people or making people feel like they can't hold their head up high. That's not me. That's not me. So all is welcome, whether you agree with me or not. And believe it or not, I listen and I respect what you say. Everyone. A lot of channels don't show loyalty to their subscribers. Okay. Yeah. I'm appreciative of all of you guys. All of you guys. And I appreciate y'all for hanging tough. I know it's slow, but see, I'm not afraid of hard work. And I'm going to keep working. It doesn't matter what's happening outside of me and around me. I'm going to keep working. I feel you, Demetrius, because I remember when you had said something the other day or last week when you said read between the lines. Trust me, I'm there with you. But, you know, I've never been afraid of hard work and doing my own thing. I'm not ashamed of nothing I say or do. And I rarely will have a regret. And if I'm wrong, I don't mind saying I'm wrong. You know, because I know where it come from. It doesn't come. Nothing that I would do here would come from a malicious or like I don't have malicious intent or nefarious, you know, place. It will never, not from here. So I don't look over my shoulder like regrets or whatever. You know, I can sit here and do this shit with a straight face. Give or take, a lot of them have their own narratives and agendas. Yeah. They do. But I logically think about a lot of stuff. And like right now, we talking about George Kambosos and how he's acting. Demetrius, you got to agree. We all gave him the benefit of the doubt. Now, when I say I'm not the biggest fan of Devin Haney, I don't dislike Devin Haney neither. Devin has to fight more to me. And it's not his fault all the way that people avoid him. But there are people out there who would fight him. They will probably be the people he could knock out. But I'm just saying, if you logically looking at it, as far as your career, the go-to or the person you can emulate to a certain point, not outside the ring, but like in the ring, I always refer to Floyd Mayweather because he did his career in 3 phases. That was Pretty Boy, Money May, and TVE. And Pretty Boy put in work. He didn't leave nothing to chance. So I just want those super chats and cash apps. If you don't do that, you got glossed over. They forget you were there from the beginning when they started. Yeah. See, even like when I get to a point where I can get super chats, how I read y'all chats is exactly how I'm gonna still read them. Whether you send some or not. Y'all see I have this cash app. Now I don't mind y'all donating, but you don't ever hear me talking about it all day, every day. It's not about the money. It's more so about the passion for me. And everything you put in this cash app never goes into my household, never goes on me. It goes strictly to this channel. And if y'all remember me from day one, go back and look at how rudimentary my setup was from day one back in August. Look how even, look what I do. Let me take this cash app down. Just to give you an example. So I know you can't see. Let me see. Put it this way. So y'all see this? I got t-shirts made like this. Got them in gold, got them in this color. You haven't heard me say or try to say I'm selling them. If I did, it's not a problem. I don't have a problem with people doing that. One day I will. But where the idea came from? Because I'm not putting on all my clothes just to come on here every day. Some people probably be like, oh, you know, y'all would look at me crazy if I wore the same shirt every day, like just regular clothes. So I was like, what can I wear every day that's in keeping with what I'm talking about? And that's why I had some clothes made. And guess where the money came from? The cash. Y'all see these lovely, I get a lot of compliment on this green screen behind me. That absolutely came from Cash App. Green screens are not cheap. Just let you know. Demetri said, Haney is a good fighter, but he has a lot to prove to show his greatness. See, that's where I'm at with it, Demetri. I could tell Kambosos was all fluff because he was a no-name before the Teofimo fight. Before that fight, his biggest wins was Mickey Bay. Yeah. So I need that gold t-shirt though. and Demetrius, you get discounts on anything I'm selling up in here. So only thing I can charge you is what they charge me. They're like $20 because it's actually a material that they put here. Not like iron on or nothing. It's an actual material. And so I'm in the process trying to find a nice hat. Y'all know I like my hats. But that's how much it costs and shipping and handling. Oh, by the way, people, I said this before. I got a 55-inch Samsung Smart TV. I'm giving it away. It's right in my house. Now, I had a raffle back during Christmas time. Nobody won. So I still have it. But I'm not giving it away until I get 1,200 subscribers. So y'all know some people, help me get to 1,200. For those of you who support me and look at me all the time, guess what? You'll be able to answer the simple questions that I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask like 3 and may the first person win. As long as you're in the 48, I'm not mailing anything to Alaska, Hawaii, the Caribbean, or U.S. territories or overseas. I got that kind of money now. And I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that loss. Guess what's going to pay for me shipping and handling? The super chats. If I have them by then, and just Cash App. Or out my own pocket. I'm prepared for that. Matter of fact, I'm prepared to do it now. Pay out my own pocket. But that's what I'm going to do. So spread the word. Let me get up to 1,200, because as soon as I do, y'all can be watching. I'm going to ask you some questions. Whoever gets to me first is going to win a brand new TV. Never been opened. Brand new. I just bought it. But yeah, going back to George Kambosos, I feel you, Demetrius. And I appreciate everything you're doing. And I do see what's around me. But you notice I don't really say nothing. Because it ain't nothing to say. I'm proud of the work I put behind the scenes. So, Kambosos got more than his fair share of benefit of the doubt. And he's proven to be what a lot of people thought he was going to be. When he won against T.O., and I know a lot of people don't like T.O., but I firmly believe that he couldn't have beat T.O. It had to be something. Am I making excuses for T.O.? No. Because with T.O. tore his draws. Because sometimes you drop out of a frying pan into another frying pan. T.O. tore his draws when he canceled that fight in June. He has yet to show us proof that he had COVID. Now, do he have to? He doesn't. We got HIPAA laws for that. But it would have helped, and it would have went a long way with the fans, where the fans are concerned. Because from where we sitting, he could have easily just had the fight. Some people worry about the wrong things. I wouldn't care if only my mama and daddy was in the fucking arena. Triller would have had to pay him regardless. And that pay is that pay. So when I be talking about, like, and keeping in what I've been saying all along, what I said about Jack Johnson, I'm sure, he wasn't enthusiastic about the fact that they kept letting the rounds go on because they couldn't let this white man lose to him. But he did what he had to do, and now look what the history say about him. He was the man. Joe Louis had to be stoic. What a thing to ask somebody. But guess what? History records him as one of the greatest heavyweights. You can go through all these people from the past and think about the shit that they had to do. If you want to get more close to the future, look at what Floyd said about Oscar De La Hoya. And y'all know Floyd. You know all that shit had to irk his ass. Guess what? It was the first pay-per-view that probably outsold any pay-per-view. It's a historical fight. It cemented him as Money May, and it's the precursor to him being TBE, the best ever. Was he wrong? He had to eat shit. Now, I know a lot of people say that about Terrence. Terrence and Devin's situation is a little different. And I'm not being biased when I say that, because I can look at both of their situations. Devin has yet to reach his glory. Terrence can stop boxing today, and he's going in the Hall of Fame. Everything he do thus far, talking about Terrence Crawford, will be an add-on. Devin hasn't cemented himself yet. And it's dirty tactics as the reason why. But Devin, some of this is you too. Terrell Gosberg said Tio could have beat Bozo. He just fought a horrible fight without direction. I really do think he was sick. But that's what I mean by that ego and pride. Look at Gary Russell. Ego and pride to get you every time. Every time it'll get you. You gotta know when to fold that shit up. Hold it, move on. You gotta know. And nobody comes to this world perfect at that. It's trial and error. Said Thurman did well on pay-per-view. Really? Is it 175,000 he made, or just 175,000 people bought it? And if I wasn't protesting, and I don't think I'm the only one protesting, I think he would have did better than that. I think he would have did better than that, because I'm assuming you're saying 175 pay-per-view buys. That's a lot of money. That's decent money. But see what that's saying to them, Demetrius? That is saying to them that he can put asses in the seat. Well, they already knew that about him. I was cool. And that's speaking of Thurman. That's saying to them, Demetrius. Oh, shit. That is saying to them, Demetrius. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. That is saying. I accidentally hit that on my Facebook. I wanted to read something on my IG. And I don't know if I can. Okay. So, this is something 175,000 buys. That's what's up. So, Keith One Time Thurman, this is what he put on his IG. That's why I say that man can sell. That cannot knock Keith, but his ability to know his audience, know how to sell, his charisma and everything. You know, why people want to throw money at him. Cannot knock him for this. He said, wanted to give a shout out to @Boxer Barrios, on one hell of a fight. I knew you were tough, but the way you hung around, you truly proved to be a Mexican warrior. You don't think that warmed Barrios aren't? You don't know what the person before you could be your opponent. Tomorrow they could be your boss. You got to think about how you treat people, how you degrade people, and how everything the first day out your mouth is something in the form of degradation. God, think about that shit. Look what he did. Big ups to all the other fighters on the card. The warrior in me sees the warrior in all of you. Why? It's like you can't ask for a better publicist. That's why if they throw the money at him, if they throw him a Crawford fight, if they throw him a Spence fight, I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be mad at him for taking the ball and running with it. He said, wasn't no way I was paying for that. I didn't either. I'm on a PBC break right now. He said he still can sell a fight after that 2-year layoff. Yep. I know what you mean, King. He sure can. Look at the praise that he just said. It took him what, 5 minutes or less? I never understand how people degrade their opponents before they even get in the ring. Like, you ain't even there yet. Why are you degrading folks? Sign the contract. I mean, again, if you want to emulate Mayweather, then look carefully at what Pretty Boy did. And then look at what Money May did. $13,123,250 for pay-per-view only, not including the gate. God damn. So even if was it Fox? It was Fox pay-per-view. I believe it was Fox. So the PBC probably paid whoever the promoter was. They paid for well, PBC is the promoter, but they paid for whatever it costs to set up the cameras and all that, which from what I hear is not as expensive as I thought it would be. I thought that would be like $1 million operation or process, but I don't think it's that much. They paid for that, and they probably did pay-per-view and let the pay-per-view pay their salaries or their purses. But yet they had them in the budget, and they didn't have to really spend nothing on them. And both fighters got a decent paycheck, I believe. Demetrius, do you know how much each one of them got paid? And we didn't have to hear about shit until after the fact. See, I like it like this. But again, a lot of fighters could take a page out of Keith Thurman's book. Sit around and hate him if you want. He gave praise to his warrior. It helps them swallow that defeat a lot better. He said thank you. It's kind of like if somebody send you a Christmas gift and you don't say thank you, or you don't send a car back. Like I'm bad with not sending the car back, but I will always say thank you. But if you don't appreciate or acknowledge your gratefulness, guess what the next year gonna bring? A lump of coal. Because ain't nobody gonna be feeling like fucking with you. They be like, that ungrateful motherfucker. And that's what you gonna get. You get what you put out. But look what Keith had to take just now. Ain't no way in the world I would classify Keith Thurman, and I know a lot of people don't like him, I ain't mad at him, but I would not classify him in the bottom as far as welterweights. When you're ranking these welterweights, there is no account for layoff. The account for layoff meaning you can't be the top person and been in a layoff situation for a long time. I get that, but to be ranked number 5 or 4 or 3 or anywhere else, you can't say, well, he had a 2-year layoff, so therefore he can't be in the top 10. That's not how it works. You have to go with their accolades, what they done in the ring, and what their abilities and how they fight. That's what you have to really go by. And now people are saying you got to go by the money they can generate, this, that, and the other. But look, Devin Haney, I'm sure Keith didn't take a lot. I'm sure he didn't get the biggest payday like he normally wanted or would have loved to get. I don't know. They're not trying to get that deep. I never those monies in my lifetime. I hear you. Like I said, George is playing his games because he got help. Ain't he falling into the trap? You sitting here waiting for something. Go back and read your Black history. A lot of Black people didn't wait for shit. Why should it? They can't wait for that. No. We know that Robert Garcia recently came out leaking the fact that he know the play behind the scenes. They really want Ryan. It's not about the money. It has a lot to do with George Kambosos' fear. And if it is about the money, is how can he maximize making money? Because he know once he get in that ring again, he done. The only way he can probably survive is to pick somebody not as notable as him, or somebody he know he can win against. Somebody probably we don't even know. We should all learn the lesson of cherry picking, because cherry picking so far in these last couple of years have gone wrong with some folks. To be leery of that at least too. I don't delve that deep. Won't see those large amounts of money in my lifetime. That's what you meant. Okay. So Kambosos, Lou DeBella, I guess, or whoever, Kambosos' team accidentally called Robert Garcia, Whitey Garcia's brother, and kind of spilled the beans. That's what they was trying to do. All that to say, Devin got a lot to think about. When it comes to him fighting anybody, I agree with him. Once you put your value on yourself, that's your value. Don't let nobody devalue you. But sometimes, you see what it is. You'll be the greatest fighter that never was. That's what you dangerously approaching. And even though you're like 23, 24 or something, time waits for no one, and it goes fast. Because I can tell you, just yesterday, it seemed like I was 29. I no more. I swear it was like yesterday. That's how fast it can go. In the blink of an eye, boom. They don't want to give you that opportunity. I couldn't tell you the real play. What should he do? I don't even know. But if he's getting that at 135, he's going to probably get that at 140, maybe not. Because all these 135ers, they on some fugazi shit. When you go up to 140, those guys are a little bit different. The more you go up in weight, you're going to run into a different breed of men. More prideful and care about their bravado and their ego just as much as you do. Like Devin, if you move up to 140, what you got on Gary Antoine Russell? Ramirez, Prograis, AB if he come back. All those people that I mentioned, never once would I say the word duck. So they might give you a fight, but can you beat them? Because them boys can fight, and they hit hard. Demetrius said, I believe Kambosos wants to fight an opponent in Australia and to have a good showing. Then he will probably fight a Haney or Lomachenko. He's maximizing his position because he has 3 belts. Yeah, it will be a shame to gain that kind of notoriety and not to even been able to keep it for a year. I would suspect, this is me predicting, that Kambosos is going to hold on to them belts for as long as he can. He wants a year to pass But he can say, well, I was a champion for a year. Because when the history books are written and the record is up there, they're not gonna be like looking at his picture. He could be an old man, he could be gone. You know, he want them shits to be cemented in writing. You know, like, hey, from the head in the 20th century, from 2021 to 2023, George Kambosos was the whatever champion. And some articles gonna say he was the undisputed, or he had all the belts. However they write it, however they try to write shit these days. But that's what he want to say. He don't want to say from what day did they fought? December? Was it December that they fought, or November? It wasn't October. I want to say it was. I can't remember what day. It could have been November. Hell, I forgot that quick. But he don't want it to say from November 2021 to April 2022. George Kambosos was the unified champion until he took a loss. He doesn't want that written, y'all. Question now is, Devin got that kind of time to wait for him? That's the question. We got that kind of time to wait for him to decide what the hell he gonna do, or should Devin just move on? Or if Devin is gonna fight at 135, go make a fight with Isaac Cruz. Now in that you can flex and be like, shit, I want the money, this, that, and the other. It was November 27th. There you go. Not even a whole 6 months later, he don't have the belts no more. He don't want that narrative, because once it's written, and he know that he's fooled. He know he caught a solid by T.O. being kind of sick. You know he did, because a healthy T.O., I don't see it, y'all. I just don't see it. A healthy T.O. would have waxed his ass, in my opinion. It didn't happen. No excuses. T.O. shouldn't have been playing from the jump all the way back to June. But that's what's gonna happen. Devin, you ain't getting that fight. And then what we can't do, this is where you're gonna lose a lot of fans, Devin. I feel you're gonna lose a lot of fans just waiting around for these guys who obviously don't want to fight you. And as long as any fan, because I don't know every 135 pounder, but as long as any fan can say in their head, hey, what about this person? Doesn't Rais Aline fight at 135, or do he fight at 130? The people that he has fought, Isaac Cruz, Devin, you got people that will fight you, and you will be the A side. But you want to fight a guy who don't care about belts in Tank. Tank doesn't care about belts. And Tank is a star. He just don't care about belts that much. I ain't gonna say he wouldn't be grateful to gain one, but that's not his thing. And it works for him. A lot of fighters can't be like that. It just can't. It just, what God has for Tank, he has for Tank. Tank can do that shit and get away with it, but a lot of fighters couldn't. T.O. was the man when he was the man. There was no fluke that he beat Lomachenko. Lomachenko couldn't handle his power. Lomachenko has been the Matrix. He is who he is. None of them want to fight you. Not even punk ass Ryan Garcia that run off at the mouth all the time. Smash the like button as y'all come into the square circle. Stop reckless eyeballing. I know y'all watching. Just come in and hit the like button. None of them want it with you. Get the people behind them. Clean out the division that way. Because there's some hardcore dudes. You know, we have just learned that Isaac Cruz is a hardcore dude He just wasn't getting the opportunity. And some people believe that was a cherry pick on the Mayweather and them team picking him. And it could have went wrong. It could have went all the way right. To the right, or to the left, But Hank persevered and hung in there. But these guys ain't gonna fight you, Devin. They just ain't. They are not interested in you becoming undisputed. Not at 135. They can't have that. Because you can fuck around and get 135 undisputed. You can fuck around and go to 140 and become undisputed. They can't have you doing that. You don't come in the right shell. So, I mean, but some of this stuff is on your shoulders, Devin. Because if you act like you can't get a fight with Isaac Cruz, or you can't get a fight with Raees Lalim and some of the people that he fought, if you acting like you can't get fights with them, come on. Nobody's going to buy that. Because I'm almost positive you could. But I know you got to be patient and wait to see what Kambosos do. You got me calling him Bozo, somebody here. Tank, Cruz, Frank Martin, Rivera, or Zepeda at 135. Yep. Tank ain't gonna fight him though. Ain't gonna fight him. And I don't think it's because he's scared. It's just, I think Devin, I know the Kambosos said something also about you don't add subscribers. See, this is the bullshit because Kambosos, do you have a podcast that we not aware about? Do you work for the Zone? Why are you even talking about that? But his positioning is, as much as Devin is with him and as much as the Zone pay him, he can't even uplift the Zone. He can't get new subscribers to subscribe to the Zone. Why do you care about that? Why does that even come out your mouth? Even if that's true, and that ain't good, Devin. That ain't good if that's true. Because if I was the CEO of the Zone, that would be something I have to factor in when I'm thinking about having deals with you. But why does that come out of another fighter's mouth? I couldn't even tell you. But if he's saying it to say, look, it's kind of underhanded insult, kind of like when Earl said Sean Porter couldn't sell a ham sandwich or something. Those are kind of underhanded insults. This is a potential opponent that Kambosos can have. Why would you downgrade him before you can even get him in the ring? Everybody wants to see undisputed. It rarely happens. And all y'all got to do is make the fight. It's between y'all two. At least in Earl's, Crawford's, case, you have Ugas too. It's not just Earl and Crawford. It's three of them. With 135, it's just two of you. And you downgrading it before it can even get off the ground. The best thing I can say to Devin, you better go, and I say Cruz, and I have been pulling for Cruz and Devin to fight since August. But I'm saying Cruz because for lack of thinking of other people. He said Martin. I don't know if you're saying Frank Martin or all these names are this last name. Somebody named Frank, somebody named Martin, Rivera, and Zepeda. Go holler at them, Devin. Get the fight with them. But I do understand and will agree if you wait to see what George's next move. Whether George says, I'm going to take a tune-up here in Australia, and then I'm going to fight you. Disregard it, Devin. I won't even give a care. At the point he don't pick you next, move on. Move the hell on. So that's pretty much it with Devin Haney. You walking into a trap, and some of this stuff can be avoided on your part. Gotta know when to hold them, and walk away and run. Moving on, anywho, Fury versus White will be held at Wembley Stadium after all. It's going to be in London. How about that? April 23rd. That's what they're saying. It's not exactly done deal, but that is the play. Now, in order for that to happen, he has to get his license back to fight. How they going to do that, I don't know. Because you ain't going to adjudicate shit in the 2 months. So palms got to get grazed. You have to assume that. I said, isn't at the stadium in the UK? It's in London. Isn't he banned in England? Yeah, he is. He doesn't have a license. And they have to reach a deal by the 21st of this month, or it's a no-go. And that's according to the WBC. The other place that they could have had it was Cardiff, Wales. I told you guys about that. Wales, in Philly is in conjunction with England, but it's its own entity. And the stadium that they talk about in Wembley can hold 90,000. So I get it. They want to bring the fellas back home and put on the show. But they're going to do some underhanded shit to get it done. Just know there's no way in hell, in a real adjudicated process, do they have enough time to do whatever they got to do to get this man license back. So if he's over there fighting, it has to be some palms being greased. And that's the type of shit we don't like in boxing, because it leads to other things. But we'll see. I don't think anybody's going to be watching that fight. Not if we got to pay for it. I catch the highlights. But I always say, I got my little hookup now, so maybe I'll see it, but I ain't dipping into my wallet, don't you know? So I didn't have much to say today. I was worried about old young Devin, and I wanted to, my Black History Month. Don't know. Let me get into that. As I said, I'm gonna try to do like an hour and a half show every day, and so y'all help me try to stay on track or whatever if I ever venture off. So that means I got to change up how I do stuff, how I deliver stuff, or whatever. But if the train is moving, it's moving. I ain't gonna stop no train. So today we're gonna be talking about Maria Van Brittan Brown, because we moseying right into Black history. Okay. Let me get this stuff. All right. Maria Van Brittan Brown was the inventor of the first home security. She is also credited with the invention of the first closed-circuit television. Brown was born in Queens, New York on October 22nd, 1922, and resided there until her death February 2nd, 1999, at the age of 76. Her father was born in Massachusetts, and her mother was from Pennsylvania. The patent for the invention was filed in 1966, and it later influenced modern home security systems that are still used today. Brown's invention was inspired by the security risks that her home faced in the neighborhood where she lived. Maria Brown worked as a nurse, and her husband, Albert Brown, worked as an electronics technician. Their work hours were not the standard 9 to 5, and the crime rate in Queens, New York City neighborhood was very high. Even when the police were contacted in the event of an emergency, the response time tended to be slow. As a result, Brown looked for ways to increase her level of personal security. She needed to create a system that would allow her to know who was at her home and contact relevant authorities as quickly as possible. Brown's security system was the basis for the two-way communication surveillance features of modern security. Her original invention was comprised of peepholes, a camera, monitors, and a two-way microphone. The final element was an alarm button that could be pressed to contact police immediately. 3 peepholes were placed on the front door at different height levels. The top one was for the tall person, the bottom one was for the children, and the middle one was for anyone of average height. At the opposite side of the door, a camera was attached with the ability to slide up and down to allow the person to see through each peephole. The camera picked up images that would reflect on the monitor via a wireless system. The monitor could be placed in any part of the house to allow you to see who was at your door. There was also a voice component to enable Brown to speak to the person outside. If the person was perceived to be an intruder, the police would be notified with the push of a button. If the person was a welcome or expected visitor, the door could be unlocked via a remote control. Maria and Albert Brown filed for the patent on August 1st, 1966, under the title Home Security System Utilizing Television Surveillance. Their application was approved on December 2nd, 1969. Brown's invention gained her well-deserved recognition, including an award from the National Scientist Community. No year for the award can be identified. In an interview with the New York Times on December 6, 1969, Brown's invention laid the foundation for later security systems that make use of his features such as video monitoring, remote control door locks, push button alarm triggers, instant messaging to security providers and police, as well as two-way voice communication. Her invention is still used by small businesses, small office, single-family homes, and multi-unit dwellings such as apartments and condominiums. The Brown's patent was later referenced by 13 other inventors, including some as recently as 2013. And that number is actually real time now, it's up to like 32. Brown was the mother of 2 children, one of whom, Norma Brown, went on to become a nurse and an inventor just like her mother. So I found her very, very interesting. See, Black folks seem to invent or come up with creations or better ways to do things out of necessity, and the Browns were no different. Maria and her husband, Albert, were pillars of their community, society, and just overall great Americans. Just think about how their invention has manifested itself in the world today. The security systems and closed circuit TV has generated billions of dollars in its application worldwide. You know, you can find these inventions or security systems at government agencies worldwide, like every government. Just think about the NSA, think about the FBI and the CIA. They all are utilizing this woman's invention on a big scale, because you can't even get close to the door without having to pass her invention. You gotta think about businesses who use them, personal home security. I have cameras, I have her invention set up at my house right now today. Schools, private lands, zoos, recreational places, streets, you know, because nowadays streets have cameras whether you know it or not. Even in the traffic lights, they have cameras built in or right beside them whether you know it or not. Same invention. They have them in prisons. Their inventions definitely act as a necessary deterrence for bad characters, and it acts as a deterrence for bad behavior. She also, they noted in here that she did an invention, like her invention led to other inventions. So she invented how to unlock doors remotely. that shit was in existence in the 60s. I never heard of it growing up. That's something I'm thinking is just getting around to us, but maybe it was always there. It's just, like most inventions, rich people have it, and then it become common for everybody else to have it. She had invented a button when pressed goes straight to the police. Like most alarm systems today, if they go off some kind of way, there's a direct line to the police. I've had my alarm system go off accidentally, and in moments, the cops was in front of my door. She had push button alarms. These things are all deterrents. If my alarm goes off, it's loud enough, you don't want to come up in here because it's going to draw eyeballs to the situation. But she has it so you can press the button and have those alarms go off. It led to closed circuit TV. And this is a thing for boxers. Look, somebody came out and said, I can't remember who said it. He wasn't a guy who was favorable. The guy, he catch a lot of flack, but what he said was true. If you want to get rid of streaming and pay-per-view and all that, go to closed circuit TV. You will stop all that shit. That won't be good for us, but, or good for folks. And I say us, just the collective. But, it'll stop it for sure. And her invention was cited. And when they say cited, meaning every time somebody make anything dealing with alarm systems and closed circuit TV or, security systems, you have to cite her shit first. That means you have to pay her because she owns that patent, which I hope that, I hope her daughter owns it now too. But they have to get paid. So as of now, it's like 32 patents based off of her invention. And probably by the year of 2024, it's estimated that security system apparatus and closed circuit TV and all that will be worth like $3.5 billion. That's a $3.5 billion business. It is a true moneymaker. And you all would be happy to know she did get paid. Her net worth, probably closer to her death, was $14 million. Should have got paid more than that, but she at least did get paid. So she was a woman before her time who left a profound legacy for generations to come. So we salute to her, Maria Van Britten Brown, and her husband, Albert Brown. Together, they came up with something that has a great effect on society today. Salute to you, Queen. And that's my Black History moment. This is also a photo of kind of like what she was doing. You see the TV here. I wouldn't understand none of this shit, but you see that, all these circuits and stuff, Maybe she's great with ideas. Now it says her profession, she was a nurse, but that means she's a scientist. And her husband was an electrician. So sometimes you can be like the electrician and don't have good ideas, but like you can make it work. But if you're a scientist, you are very creative, because being a scientist causes you to have theorems and theory, to think critically. You can't be a scientist without it. So shout out to her. And that was my Black History moment, as I said. So that's it for tonight. I think I was kind of like 8 minutes off. Hey, I did good. Anyway, thank you guys for coming in. Like I said, if we cooking, if we really cooking, and there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff is not going on. But I will see you guys tomorrow. And remember, when you know better, you do better, right? When you know better, you will do better. So until tomorrow, peace. Hey, one more thing. I know I'm supposed to be off, but I want to give a big shout out to the Queen Yogi for dropping that cash app for $50. I just saw it. I normally turn off my phone and I don't catch it till like I don't really look at it like throughout the thing. I guess I'm not used to it, but I want to praise her and thank her for the cash app. It's not gone unnoticed. And sorry I caught it late, but thank you, thank you, thank you. So that is the end of the